G'day guys, my name is Jaden. Welcome back to my channel. We're at New York JFK Terminal 4. I'm with my friend Mike from North Carolina. So tonight we're going to fly Singapore Airlines flight SQ23 from here to Singapore Changi. It's the longest flight in the world, about 18 hours or so. I'll be flying in premium economy. My friend Mike will be in business. Now without further ado, let's go check in. It's really cold out here. There are 5 terminals here at New York JFK. So always check your airplane ticket and see where your flight departs from. Also, don't go to the wrong airport. Singapore Airlines has daily flights from JFK and also Newark Airport. From John F. Kennedy Airport, Singapore Airlines has 2 daily flights. They are both overnight services. One goes via Frankfurt, Germany, operated by a Boeing 777-300ER. Our non-stop flight is operated by an Airbus A350-900 ultra-long range. There are just over 150 seats on our aircraft, so check-in can't be that busy. A friendly check-in agent checked us in all the way to Bangkok, so after Singapore we've got one more connecting flight. The check-in lady then informed my friend about his lounge access at New York JFK, so he can visit either the Prime Class or Air India. Please note that a regular premium economy ticket, which I do hold, doesn't give you lounge access. That being said, I'm lucky enough to have a credit card that gives me access to the American Express Centurion Lounge here in Terminal 4. Actually, after reading many reviews, it appears that the American Express Centurion Lounge is a lot better than the Air India and also Prime Class. Both of these lounges don't have shower facilities, and the Prime Class lounge doesn't even have a bathroom. Both lounges aren't really ideal for Singapore Airlines flagship flight from JFK to Singapore. So anyways, I'm gonna head up to the Centurion Lounge, which is located upstairs on the left hand side once you've passed security. I'm allowed to bring in a guest, so my friend Mike is gonna tag along. During my visit to the Centurion Lounge, I actually came across a few Singapore Airlines and also Emirates business class guests. So I guess that some travelers do know, this lounge is one of the better ones at Terminal 4. It's now 8 o'clock in the evening and we haven't had dinner, so we're gonna sort that out right here, right now. There's another thing that I need to sort out before my flight. That is to activate my NordVPN. NordVPN is like your travel insurance. It takes excellent care to your privacy and internet access while you travel. When you're overseas, sometimes it's inevitable that you need to log into your bank account and other sensitive accounts. Without a VPN, you're leaving your passwords and login details vulnerable. Nowadays, internet hackers are really smart. Unfortunately, not only are they getting smarter, they're also hacking faster. Once you've got NordVPN on your phone or laptop, it's only one simple switch, and less than 2 seconds you're connected to a server. You can choose from over 7,000 servers in over 110 countries. And now, you're surfing the internet safer, the bad people don't bother with you, and your passwords are to yourself. Get NordVPN today via my link nordvpn.com/JadenWong for an exclusive discount and 4 extra months. And rest assured, if you don't like your purchase for whatever reason, you get a free refund within 30 days. Before we headed down to the boarding gate, we chilled here for a little bit, had some biscuits and tea, and then we're gonna walk to boarding gate A2. It takes about 3 minutes to walk from the security or American Express Centurion Lounge. This is the plane that'll take us all the way to Singapore in 18 hours. Registration 9 Victor Sierra Golf Delta. It's a 6-year-old Singapore Airlines Airbus A350-900. On this particular plane there are 67 business class seats and 94 premium economy. There's no first class or economy. So technically everybody gets priority boarding. When you fly Singapore Airlines, Star Alliance Gold board together with Premium Economy. So a Star Alliance Gold member doesn't get priority boarding when they fly on this flight. So the scheduled boarding time is 9:35 according to the boarding pass, but it's now 18 minutes past that and there's no any updates from the ground staff. And actually there are more and more people congregating at the gate area.
Gold, Crispire Elite Silver, Star Alliance Gold, and Premium Economy Class passengers for boarding. Please keep your passports open to the picture page, along with your boarding pass. Notification coverage you may have, including mask, hats, or glasses, for our biometric boarding process. Any duty-free items you have purchased can be collected halfway through the jet bridge. Thank you for choosing Singapore Airlines, and we wish you a pleasant flight.
Singapore Airlines is a world-class 5-star airline, and that's how they promote themselves. So please allow me to be a bit more critical when I review them. I want to quickly talk about the ground experience. The check-in staff member was really friendly. Not that I got Singapore Airlines lounge access today, but the lounges they use at JFK are pretty average. SkyTeam and oneworld passengers departing from JFK have way better options. Finally, for the boarding process, I will recommend a late boarding announcement if it's anything beyond 15 minutes, and they should allow KrisFlyer Gold and Star Alliance Gold members to board before Premium Economy. Good morning.
Hi, thank you. Across your right.
Welcome on board Singapore Airlines A350 ULR Premium Economy. It's a large cabin consisting of 94 seats. My seat today is 35A, a window seat on the right hand side. The seat configuration on board is 242. It's the industry average, but you do have 232 configuration on board Lufthansa and Emirates. Allow me to quickly go through the seat features. On this 18-hour flight, you've got a coat hook to accompany you, USB ports on the other side, a massive touchscreen TV. I'll go into further details later. A massive seat pocket right underneath. Surprisingly, there aren't more pouches for your personal items. Legroom here is alright, but I've seen better on other premium economy cabins on other airlines. I quite like this one, a water bottle holder. Underneath the armrest between you and your neighbour, you've got universal power socket. And above the armrest, also between you and your neighbour, you've got the headphone jack and a second USB port. So if you've got a laptop, a work phone and a personal phone, Singapore Airlines Premium Economy Class got you covered. So that's it for now for the seat features. I'll tell you how I think before landing. Now for the soft products, you've got pillow, blanket and a noise cancelling pair of headphones. The headphones are quite comfy to wear, but not very noise cancelling. Moreover, they provide you with ear pad covers. It's like the face mask for your headphones. So there aren't any amenity kits on your seat. That's because it's only available on request. I actually only realised that after landing, which is a shame because I do like keeping amenity kits. And the reason why I only found out about the amenity kits after landing is because I only found out about the menu after landing, which was inside my seat pocket. It was hiding there the whole time. For the whole flight duration, I thought that they don't provide menus on this flight. I would actually prefer if they put all amenities, including your headphones, pillow blankets, and menu on your seat. Instead, they've put the menu booklet and the headphones inside a seat pocket, which was really deep, which in turn wasn't great for personal storage either, which is a rather annoying issue on an ultra long haul flight. On this flight to Singapore, they've got champagne and a selection of wines, cocktails and mocktails. After breakfast, there'll be a dinner service, a breakfast service halfway through the flight, and a light meal before landing. It's a very similar story in business class.
Together with me in the flight deck are Captain Ng, Senior First Officer Desmond, and Kijin. And in the cabin, looking after the safety and comfort, is a set of friendly cabin crew, led by in-flight manager, Miss Karen Che. Together, we'd like to welcome you on board SQ23 to Singapore. Our flight time today is 18 hours and 5 minutes. On the weather is forecast to be cloudy at times. As such, I strongly recommend that your seatbelt securely fastened whenever you are seated, and especially when the seatbelt sign are switched on. Progress of flight is available in the flight power channel, in your in-flight entertainment system. And just before we commence our descent, I'll update you about the weather condition in Singapore. We will be departing shortly. May I invite you to sit back, relax, enjoy the services on board. Have a pleasant flight and thank you for choosing Singapore Airlines.
One lovely perk about flying Singapore Airlines is that they give you hot towel in all cabin classes. Also, they've got fantastic in-flight entertainment. Before landing into Singapore, I can catch up with the world news. In addition, all travellers on Singapore Airlines get free Wi-Fi as long as they have a frequent flyer account with the airline.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is important that you give your attention to the safety video which will now be shown. Thank you.
Airlines, as the safety equipment on this aircraft may differ from that on other aircraft. Please give us your attention as we bring you through this important safety briefing and on a journey through Singapore. Make sure that your seat belt is securely fastened during taxi, takeoff, and landing. Drops into the gap between the seats. Refrain from adjusting the seat and ask the cabin crew for assistance.
I've enjoyed that safety video and also hearing all the announcement from the cabin crew and cockpit crew. The volume was perfect, I could hear every word they said. They also spoke clearly. They should take over my voiceover. There was actually a snowstorm just yesterday. Many flights were delayed or cancelled, including the SQ23 flight from JFK to Singapore yesterday. It was delayed by 18 hours, which meant it left only 6 hours ago. We're now airborne, and in 18 hours and 5 minutes, we'll make it to Singapore. Once we've passed 10,000 feet, you'll be able to connect to the free in-flight Wi-Fi. The sign-in portal would pop up, and all you'll need to do is to put in your last name and seat number. That is, if you've got your KrisFlight account linked to your boarding ticket, and then you'll get free internet access throughout your flight. And once that's done, you can connect to NordVPN. They'll look after your internet access, making sure your internet access is safe and sound throughout the journey. Our flight today to Singapore is completely full in both premium economy and business class. The captain just switched off the seatbelt sign. I'm gonna head down to the lavatory and get change. There are 8 lavatories on this aircraft, 3 for premium economy and 4 for business. For the ones in premium economy, they're all located at the back galley, 2 on the left hand side and 1 on the right hand side of the cabin. This lavatory wasn't particularly big, but it was well lit. You've got a bottle of hand lotion, which is a nice touch. It does get really dry on a flight. For amenities, they haven't stocked up yet. The cabin crew haven't got time to do it before I got in. I'll show you more later. I'm now watching live BBC News. Funnily enough, the interviewee is from Singapore.
Trade war took about 6 months from the imposition of the first tariffs before we really started to see much of a negative impact on Chinese exports.
Yes, it really could be just at the beginning of this trade war between the US and China, and you can find out.
In-flight service just began on this ultra-long-haul flight. In premium economy and business class, you can book the cook. On this flight, actually many passengers have done so. So the crew were busy taking out the meal trays one by one from the galley. Let me show you what I've got. Ta-da! Looks good, doesn't it? It's a massive tray as well, which is always a good thing, which means you've got plenty on your tray. For appetizer, we've got pan-seared shrimp salad, which comes with honey glazed walnuts, blackberries, croton, mixed salad, and balsamic ginger dressing. For dessert, it was a banoffee cake with caramel sauce. Lots of caramel sauce indeed. This was delicious. Here we've got metal utensils, cheese and crackers, butter and chocolate. There was also this cute little bun. For my main course, which I chose online, and it's not available on the paper menu, it's the meatball with spinach and tomato sauce. The meatball was vegan. Another popular book the cook option for this supper service was actually available on the paper menu. It was the Cantonese style barbecue pork with fried rice. Overall, this was a fantastic meal service. The salad was delicious and fresh. The vegan meatball tasted like real meat. The spinach, cheese and sauce were also delicious and yummy. And to go with your excellent meal, there's a wide range of drinks. I went for a glass of champagne. Unfortunately, it was served in a plastic cup. Shortly, the crew came back to collect meal trays and offered a round of beverages. I went for a cup of black tea. A while ago, I mentioned how storage is a problem in premium economy, and that also includes the placement for your beverages. The paper cup that they give you doesn't even fit into the slot for the cup. On my following flight to Bangkok in economy class, I was surprised how good the storage was compared to premium. There was a dedicated cup holder and many pouches for sorting out your personal items, which is really useful on a long-haul flight. Instead, in premium economy, all you've got is this little compartment. It can't fit in anything too thick. If you want to forget your passport or phone, that is the perfect spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Due to turbulence condition, please kindly return to your seat and if your seatbelt sign only fastened. Cabin crew, please exercise caution if your service.
The placement for your beverage actually becomes a safety hazard. There was nowhere safe to place it. I was genuinely a bit worried when there was turbulence. The flight became really bumpy as we were crossing the Atlantic Ocean. And right now, only 15 hours left. We're doing pretty good. Now that there's so much time to our flight, I'm gonna do some yapping. I don't understand Singapore Airlines at all when it comes to meal service. I've flown this airlines multiple times to Australia on red-eye services, and I commented on about how they don't serve you a dinner after takeoff and only a full breakfast before landing. And people were quick to comment that is because the airline considers your sleeping pattern and most people don't eat this late. But then how do you explain the dinner we just received? It was 11 PM New York time. A few hours later, over Central Asia, we will receive a full breakfast, and that would be 9 AM in New York or 10 PM in Singapore. And then for the rest of the journey, about 7 hours to go, you won't receive anything substantial on this flight, which is complete opposite to the flights to Australia. You will receive a full breakfast before landing, not halfway through the flight, and not after takeoff. So overall, the service timing isn't consistent across the network, and for this flight to Singapore, I do like the dinner service after takeoff personally. I like something big after takeoff, but then I don't really want or need the breakfast halfway through the flight, especially in business when you've got a flat bed. I want it before landing into Singapore instead at 4:05 AM Singapore time. So right now we were flying over England. Most people were sleeping. With my jet lag management, I don't want to sleep right now because then I'll be still living in New York time. Instead, I'll work around the Singapore time. Right now it's still early in the evening in Singapore. So yeah, the breakfast we're going to receive at 10 PM Singapore time won't help at all. So personally, I would prefer if they switch around the breakfast and light meal service. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in a comment down below. In the back alley, you'll find a snack bar for premium economy passengers. There's also water and orange juice. For coffee, tea, cocktails and other beverages, you can ask the cabin crew. Throughout the flight, the crew are on shift. Some of them might be sleeping in the bunk, some of them in the galley. Every now and then you'll see them walking around the cabin with water, juice, fruits and snack. The cabin crew do really look after you on this flight. I visited the lavatory many times on this flight and I felt sorry for my neighbor who was sleeping for the first half of the flight. But on every flight, particularly longer flights like this one, I do want to stay hydrated and drink more water. Sometimes I'll try not to wake my neighbor up and climb over them. I'm quite flexible, but she had her head and arms on the tray table, so I had to wake her up every time. So now it's 10 PM Singapore time, 9 AM New York time. Breakfast is served and we're currently flying over Azerbaijan. Like the dinner service, you can do book the cook for breakfast, which I originally thought they would serve this before landing. So I was surprised when the cabin crew started giving out meal trays to those who ordered book the cook. Now for appetizers, we got fresh fruit, croissant, strawberry jam, regular butter, yogurt with oat on top and mango at the bottom, metal utensils as usual on Singapore Airlines, a very alcoholic strong wet wipe, and here's my book the cook order, pork congee. My first impression, this is a really large portion, very generous. And I also really like all the bowls and plates they give you in premium economy. It's really nice aesthetically, but also quite heavy. For the congee, I wish there was soy sauce or pepper and salt. The overall flavour was great, but a little bit bland. Singapore Airlines is one of those airlines that make you shut down the window blinds during an overnight flight. As a result, it's actually making it difficult for me to adjust to Singapore time. The sun already rose when we were flying over England, and we must keep the blinds shut for people who want to sleep. I understand where people are coming from with that thought, but in my strong opinion, whether the blinds are up or down, it's up to the window person. If anyone wants to sleep or, skip the meal service, they should put on eye shades and earplugs, which the airline does offer it for free. It also sucks that on an 18-hour flight, I could never look outside until during the meal service, I get to get a glimpse because people were awake. The lovely crew just came back to collect meal trays again, and I went for a glass of beverage, this time Bailey's on ice. Back in the back galley, as per usual, the crew members have set up the galley for self-serve. Surprisingly for this flight, Singapore Airlines has a rather tiny galley compared to other airlines, like Cathay A350 and Finnair A350. That means cabin crew have to put up with a small space when they set up the galley and food trolleys, and during downtime like this, they have to deal with passengers like me who invite themselves into their workplace to get food and drinks. I kind of feel bad for them. They don't get much privacy on this long flight. On the second half of the flight, more people are awake, the TV screens are mostly on. It's now past midnight in Singapore, so I guess most people are gonna get jet lag. They slept for the first half of the flight.
Cabin crew, please suspend service and take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your brother from flight deck. First safety, please return to your seat and have your seatbelt securely fastened.
Because there's no third meal on this flight, for the second half of the flight, the crew kept coming around with, drinks, snacks, and also hot food like this. If you take all the snacks, you can actually get full. But I do prefer a proper third meal, or just switch around the light snacks and breakfast. Once again, the cabin crew on this flight were all fantastic, working around the clock literally, giving out snacks and drinks. Once we've passed India, the flight got really bumpy until we flew over Phuket. This area is always a hot spot for turbulence. You might remember last year, there was a Singapore Airlines flight from London to Singapore that hit strong turbulence, resulting in several severe injuries, and one passenger did unfortunately pass away. So please do always fasten your seatbelt loosely, even when the seatbelt sign is off and you're sleeping. We're still flying over Phuket, Thailand. The seatbelt sign is still on, but the cabin crew were able to work around the cabin. The captain did announce that several times actually during the flight, passengers please be seated, cabin crew, work with caution. And during this time, 1 hour to go before landing, cabin crew gave out pizzas again.
Arrival time to Singapore is 5:36 in the morning. There's a time difference of 13 hours between New York and Singapore. And for those on the time check, the time is 4:54. Weather-wise, it's reported like scattered cloud with a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. I hope you've enjoyed the flight. On behalf of Singapore Airlines, I'd like to thank you for flying with us, and we hope to see you on board again. Meanwhile, sit back and relax while we commence our descent. Cabin for landing.
So 17.5 hours have passed. We're soon going to descend into Singapore, and I'll quickly conclude this trip report right here, right now. So I've already talked about the ground experience, the meal service, the fantastic service from our cabin crew. So right now, I'll mainly talk about the seat. I've got a lot to talk about. So this is my second time flying Singapore Airlines Premium Economy. Last time, it was Bangkok to Singapore. I did a video on that, you can go check it out. Back then, you still had to wear a face mask. Anyways, I thought the seat was perfect for a short haul flight, such as Singapore to Bangkok. But after this flight, I changed my mind completely. On this flight, I took advantage of the free Wi-Fi, and I asked my Instagram followers their opinions on Singapore Airlines Premium Economy. Overwhelmingly, many people didn't like this product. A lot of people mentioned that there's not enough recline, and I agree. Especially after I tried Cathay's new Premium Economy recently, you get so much recline. On Cathay Premium, you can sleep when you're not tired. On Singapore Airlines Premium, you'll need to be very tired and fatigued to fall asleep. Oh, also, I almost forgot. Do avoid the aisle seat. There's an entertainment box. I was wondering why my neighbor kept kicking into me. As we approach Changi Airport, you can read what my followers have to say about the seat. I want to reiterate my feedback about the seat. So there's not enough recline, not enough space for storage, and there was no adequate space for your cup. When you put your leg rest out and also recline, the seat wasn't very ergonomic. I actually found Singapore economy class to be more comfortable, even though it's a bit narrower. So if I have to do Singapore Airlines from JFK to Singapore again, I'd rather do the one via Frankfurt and in economy. I'm not even joking. But on the positive side, the TV was great, there are more than enough charging points, and I like the individual reading light, which you can adjust the angle. I'm very aware that Singapore Airlines has a panel of frequent flyers that constantly give feedback to management teams at Singapore Airlines. Also, the airline is introducing new business and premium economy in 2025, and I do hope that the frequent flyers have been given the same feedback that my followers and myself are giving. If so, I'm really looking forward to the new products, and then I might fly this route again. So that's it for the conclusion today from me. My friend Mike in business class will give you a conclusion after landing. There will also be a Bangkok vlog, so don't miss out. Please don't forget to like, comment and share. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Every week, I've got a new one coming out, so don't miss out. I'll see you later when Mike concludes his experience in business class and also in the Bangkok vlog. Bye!
Residents of Singapore, a warm welcome home. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is off. Please take care when opening the overhead compartments and remember to take all your belongings with you. It's been our pleasure serving you on this flight. Thank you for flying Singapore Airlines, a member of Star Alliance.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jaden. Overall, I thought it was really a great flight, albeit a very long one. I really appreciated how attentive the flight attendants were. They addressed me by name throughout the flight, which I thought was a really good touch. The food was great. I really loved the book-to-cook option. You can pre-select from a whole bunch of different dishes that are out there, so you can usually find something that you like, which really made it nice. In terms of the seat, I thought it was comfortable for an 18-hour plus flight. I didn't really have any complaints with that. There's a good amount of storage in the seat. There's 3 spaces, one to the side of the screen, one in the armrest, and then a slot by your shoulder. You can usually find space for most of your stuff. And then the video screen actually was very large and pretty clear. There's a whole bunch of movies and TV shows and a bunch of other stuff to watch, as well as flight map, which I always enjoy watching during the flight. And then as far as the bedding goes, came with 2 pillows, a mattress pad, and a blanket, and I thought the bed was pretty comfortable overall. Just a few downsides with the seat is, unlike most business class seats that recline into the lay flat mode, the Singapore Airlines seats actually, the back folds down to make the bed, which isn't a huge deal. It's pretty easy to do. What we ran into on our flight was we had a lot of turbulence at the end of the first meal service, and so folks couldn't get up to put their beds down, so it took a little while before we could actually put into bed mode and go to sleep. And then the other issue, which I'm sure a lot of other people have mentioned, is the footwell is well off to the side in the seat, and so it makes it a little awkward for sleeping. It's manageable, but for folks who change positions a lot when they sleep, makes it a little bit more challenging. And then the last thing was the video screen was very nice, but it's not touch screen. It's actually controlled by a remote. Which is fine, but sometimes when you were on a pause your movie or change the volume, it was a little bit of a hassle to pull the remote out to do it instead of just reaching out in front of you to do it on the TV itself, like most business class products have. But overall, I was very satisfied with the flight. Like I said, the soft product is outstanding, the service and the food, and the bed overall was good with just a couple of drawbacks. But looking forward to the return trip.
So that was the conclusion from my friend Mike sitting at 14A. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you, Jaden. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for coming along on the trip.
So premium was not bad as well. I think similar conclusion, several drawbacks, but overall really, really good. So that's it. I'll see you all next week. Bye. So the video isn't actually over. I'm going to start my Bangkok vlog right now. Mike and I are staying at the Hilton Grand Assuk in the Sukhumvit area of Bangkok. We both got upgraded to the executive room. His room is just next door. It's a relatively massive room for one person, a great working desk, fantastic view over Bangkok. That's Terminal 21, a major shopping centre here in Bangkok. This hotel might not give off a Hilton vibe because it was formerly a Pullman. In the bathroom, a walk-in shower, and a massive bathtub. We did just arrive from New York via Singapore to Bangkok, so I look forward to a nice relaxing bath. Mike and I just met up. We're gonna go check out the swimming pool. I just went back to the room for a shower. We're now going to go to Terminal 21 for afternoon tea. So we went to the food court in Terminal 21, but I was too excited about the food, I forgot to film it. Now we just went back to the room. I took a much needed nap before we went out for dinner. I'm still trying hard to adjust to Bangkok time, so I'll only allow a nap for myself and not a full-on sleep. That being said though, I'm editing this video a week later in Hong Kong. It's 5:30 AM. I'm still editing. To get to Chinatown, we're gonna take the MRT. You can pay with your Visa or MasterCard, but not via Apple Pay, gotta be the physical card. Chinatown, Bangkok is a literal definition of hustling and bustling. We're back in Sukhumvit MRT. It's a 2-3 minute walk to our hotel. So that's it for the conclusion today and also for the trip report. Thank you so very much for watching today. Hope you enjoyed. And a big shout out and thank you to every single one of my PayPal Me and Patreon member for your contribution to my channel. It is much appreciated. I will see you all next week on another trip report. Bye!